Power Rankings. Got a lot of new faces up in here this week. So let's get started at number 10, making their debut, the Royals.
Not just their debut, Alex. The debut in the history of Flippin' Bats.
Whoa.
The Kansas City Royals have made the Power Rankings here at number 10. They're 10-6, led by Bobby Witt Jr. You got Vinny P, pride of Old Dominion, over at first base. This is just a team that we talked a lot about this offseason, and every time I was asked who had the best offseason in baseball, I would say the teams that certainly are up there, and the Yankees and the Cubs and the Diamondbacks, but every single time I would make a point to mention the Kansas City Royals and how much better they got. And they're showing that. They are a fun team to watch. And if they can pitch even somewhat average, they have a team that is capable of putting up some runs. So I like them a lot. Do I expect this pace? 10-6. I don't know what that ends up being over the course of 162, but do I expect that to keep up all year long? I don't, but I do expect them to be a competitive team all year long. And absolutely right now, they are worthy of being in the top 10 of these power rankings. And producer Fran is going to be just absolutely thrilled about that.
Well, and if they can keep this up, I mean, they're in the weakest division in the league. Like they could and have an opportunity to possibly take the AL Central.
Show some respect to the Tigers, please.
Oh, come on. You didn't mean that.
Scrappy,
you know they're still a year or two away.
Scrappy bunch.
Okay, let's move on to number 9. Also not ranked last week, the Cubs.
Yeah, the Cubbies are 9-6. They're the first of the NL Central teams that we got coming up. How many will there be? Will there be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? We'll find out. But the Cubs have been playing good baseball as well. Michael Busch, the big addition from in that trade with the Dodgers, 4 consecutive games with a homer. He's been huge in that lineup for them. So they just did enough, in my opinion, to take a little bit of a step forward from where they were last year. Shota Imanaga has been filthy. The guy's nasty. Cody Bellinger back in that lineup was a necessity for them. You add in Michael Busch, then all of a sudden you have a lineup that's capable of doing some damage and some pitchers. This is without Justin Steele, healthy right now.
Huge.
Some pitchers that are doing good jobs. So Cubs come in at 9.
Okay, at number 8, another NL Central team that was not ranked last week, the Reds.
How about those Reds, baby? They're 9-6. I couldn't have talked more about them coming into this year. I still feel very good about my prediction of them winning the NL Central. There are plenty of other good teams in the NL Central ahead of them right now, but they've done nothing besides get injured to make me waver at all from where I was when I made that prediction. And it does suck, the injuries that have come up for them. But now you add Nick Lodolo back to that rotation. That's what made me so excited about this team, was the rotation with Frankie Montas, Hunter Green. You got Ashcraft, you got Martinez, and you have a guy like Nick Lodolo, who I loved, who was going to miss a bit of the beginning of the year, came back, punched out 10 guys in his season debut. He looks really good. So yeah, the Reds are 9-6, sitting pretty in the NL Central, although it's mid-April, but they're in a good spot.
Yeah. Okay. Number 7, same spot as last week, the Guardians.
Yeah, Guardians, no movement. They're good, 10-5. They just keep. Josh Naylor had a fantastic week. They got some really, really bad news with Shane Bieber. That's going to be a big blow to them this year. It really, really is. But they're playing good baseball as of now. So I just kept them put, didn't move them up, didn't move them down.
At number 6, your third NL Central team, up 2 spots, the Pirates.
11-5. The Buccos are hot. I really do. This team is fun. All I wanted to see for the last 2 years was a healthy left side of the infield for the Pittsburgh Pirates. O'Neal Cruz, Cabrian Hayes on the left side, and just see what they're capable of doing. And it really is a lot of fun to watch them play baseball. The Pirates are playing really well. By the way, shout out to Paul Skeens down there in the minor leagues, averaging over 100 miles an hour on his fastball. It is ridiculous. But I do want to maybe we'll dive into that in a future episode. But
Okay.
I do understand why he's in the minor leagues, and I keep seeing a lot of talk of why Paul Skeens, what's happening? Call him up. We'll do that soon. We'll have a Paul Skeens talk. But you got Andrew McCutchen still on the team, the savvy vet of the team, just hitting his 300th career homer over the weekend. I'd love to see that out of him in the black and gold. Andrew McCutchen was born to play baseball in Pittsburgh, so he's been quite the journeyman over the last few years, 5 years or so. To see him back there doing it is really cool.
All right, now heading into your top 5 at number 5, up 4 spots, the biggest jump of the week, and also your 4th NL Central team in this power ranking, the Brewers.
I will say it again and again, hand up. I missed on the Brewers.
Yeah.
I mean, I really did have them as a bottom team in baseball. I believe I had them in last place in the NL Central. And they've been fun. And I'm not saying hand up, I missed on them because they're 10-4 and in my power rankings right now. I think as a whole, I was wrong on the team. I don't think they're going to finish the division in last place. I was worried and concerned about the pitching and the lack of offense, but their young guy, Jackson Chourio, Rhys Hoskins over at first base, Christian Yelich, back. He's back.
Love that.
So it's just this lineup is doing enough, and you got Willie Adames there at shortstop, able to hit a bunch of homers. So this lineup is now more balanced. I just think with Chourio in there, he adds a different dynamic to the team. It's not just this sort of feast or famine that it felt like they had over the last few years with guys like Adames and like Rowdy Tellez and, you know, those sort of guys and Christian Yelich not being quite as good. This team just feels different. Mm-hmm. And you got Freddie Peralta, who's more than serviceable ace of a staff. He's great. So back into the rotation is still a bit of a concern for me, but regardless, I do believe by and large I missed on how good or how much better they would be than I thought. So the Brewers come in at number 5.
At number 4, up 1 spot, the Orioles.
Yes, the Orioles are, I don't want to say firing on all cylinders right now. They're 9-6.
Yeah.
Jackson Holliday, shout out Jackson Holliday, got his first hit of his career on Sunday. First of many. And to get that first one out of the way, that can pile up on you quick. And it started to pile up on him a little bit. He had a bunch of offers in there, but once you go one day without getting a hit, you take that back to your house or to the hotel with you, and then it sits with you, and then you have another offer, and then it really sits with you, and it just starts piling and piling and piling until you get that first one out of the way. He did it. Now he's going to be off and running. Colton Cowser. It's the young guys for this Orioles team that really, really excite me. So Orioles come in at number 4. They are 9-6.
All right, moving into the top 3, lots of movement here, down 2 spots, and their first time not in first place this season. The Braves.
Braves are 9-5. Good. They're just not dominating right now. You still have Ronald Acuna Jr. without a homer, which is perplexing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just they've been fine. Spencer Strider, Tommy John.
It's heartbreaking.
Sucks.
Heartbreaking.
Absolutely sucks. So no, I didn't move the Braves down because Spencer Strider's not going to pitch this year.
Yeah.
But that is going to be a big blow for them. And I just moved them down a bit because they're not really dominating right now. They're a good team. Mm-hmm. They're winning series. They're winning baseball games, but it's not quite as dominant as the 2 teams that I have above them.
At number 2, moving up 1 spot, the Yankees.
Yep, the Yankees are now at number 2. I moved them up fairly early on to number 3. Again, I was just really high on this Yankees team, higher than many people in the public realm that aren't Yankees fans because, well, okay, yeah, you add Juan Soto, but they did a lot more that I thought added to this team and their dynamic. I think Alex Verdugo is a lot of fun to watch for them. Marcus Stroman in that rotation has been huge. Carlos Rodon. They're sitting here at 12-4 without the best pitcher in baseball. It's a lot of fun to watch them. The addition to Juan Soto in that lineup feels like more than just adding one player to the lineup. It changes the entire feel of that lineup, not just having to circle Aaron Judge and say, this guy can't hurt us. Now it becomes a whole new problem of there's these 2 guys, they hit back-to-back in the lineup, and they're a really big problem. So it is a totally new feel to this Yankees team. So moved them up to 3 early, moved them up to 2 right now. And I do believe right now they're the second best team in baseball.
And at number 1, up 1 spot, where they belong, the Dodgers.
Where they currently belong, the Los Angeles Dodgers at 11-6, that top of the lineup. Again, 11-6, everybody knows, hopefully, by now we record on Sunday evenings during the Sunday night baseball game. You got the Dodgers and the Padres currently playing on Sunday night baseball.
And it got delayed. So normally it would be done by now, but
there was a delay.
Rain delay.
So that the cards will fall where they may there. But before this game, they were 11-6. Doesn't really matter to me whether they win or lose it. They have been, they've deserved this top spot now. The Braves with a bit of a, not just quite as dominant, but that lineup, it really is just fun to turn on the TV. It's must-watch television.
It is.
If you know the Dodgers game is about to start, sit your butt down for 10 minutes and watch the first 3 guys in that lineup hit, and then come back when they're about to hit again. I mean, it's just, if you're a fan of the game of baseball, you're a fan of those 3 guys at the top of the lineup. It really is historic. It feels historic to watch them hit back to back to back. And yeah, this team is a lot of fun to watch. They're 11-6 and coming in at number 1. Top 10.
Yeah.
You got the Royals, the Cubs, the Reds, the Guardians, the Pirates, the Brewers. Just as we all thought.
I'm
10
just
through
like,
6.
you're like 6 through 10.
Just
like
as
what?
we all
Even like
imagined.
5 through 10.
Yep. And then you got the Orioles, Braves, Yankees, Dodgers rounding out
Good for
the
them.
top 10.
Thanks for watching. If you love flipping bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.